Hi.
More weirdness.
Hi, Scott.
Hello, Karli.
Also known as Static Campervan.
That's me.
Would you like to tell me about your van?
Sure. It is a 2015 Ram ProMaster City. It's basically a Fiat, but I like it. It's tiny, but it has everything that I need.
Nice. Well, let's look inside.
Okay. We got to go around this way because I'm an oddball and I have my bed on the opposite side that everybody else has theirs.
That is just fine. Well, it's on the driver's side. That's nice.
Right. I actually did this because I didn't have a real set date of when I was going to move into the van, so I was just using it on the weekends to camp and building a little bit as I go, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized, I think it was like the first time I camped the first weekend, I realized I hated putting my groceries into my cooler
mm-hmm.
and then having to walk all the way around because it was on the other side. And so then I just decided, you know what, I'm going to put the bed on the other side so I can have my fridge and cooler on this side, and it's been great.
It makes sense.
Yeah, and I like actually sleeping on the street side instead of on the traffic side.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a safety thing, it's just quieter.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. So I've gone with it. I should probably turn some lights on. Are you gonna edit this? Because I don't want people seeing that I have donuts.
He does not have donuts. There's my edit.
You didn't see that.
It is so cozy in here. There's so much. You have more packed in your little tiny van than I have in mine. He's got the sink and the stove and the countertop.
I am middle-aged, so I think I need a lot of stuff just to be comfortable. So I figured I started with a comfortable bed. I wanted something that was going to be supremely comfortable because, you know, if you're not sleeping well, you're not going to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I drink a lot of coffee, so that meant a stove. And I like half and half in my coffee, so that meant a fridge.
Necessities.
Right. And then I did want a way to clean up and to do dishes because I did want to cook for myself as much as possible, so that was where the sink came in. So that sink is actually big enough that I can do laundry in, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, it totally is.
Which I don't do all the time, but it's nice to have the option. I like having options.
Yes. That's awesome. And your shelving for all your clothes, and this is your solar setup.
Right.
How much solar do you have on top?
I just have one panel. It's a 150 watt Renogy panel. And really my biggest draw is just the Dometic fridge I have. Mm-hmm. And so even up here in the Pacific Northwest, I find that I get plenty of power. I'm not starved for power in any way.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how many batteries do you have?
I actually have two. So my solar setup is not a good one. I've got more battery than I do solar, but I've got about 250 amp hours of battery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And do you use anything else in here with the solar setup? Do you charge your phones or?
I do charge my phones. I've got a couple of USB plugs that I put in and a couple of just 12 volt sockets as well that I put in. So there's one right behind you. And the one tip that I can give you is put them on a switch. So that one there. That one there is only live when you flip the switch that's right above it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they do draw a little bit of power. USB plugs draw just a little bit of power, even if they are not being used.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I just flip them off, and that's one of the ways that I get by with only having the 150 watt solar panel, mm-hmm. Is because I'm only using 12 volt appliances, and so and by shutting everything off when I don't need it, mm-hmm. The fridge runs all the time. But everything else I just shut off, and then that way I've made my kind of really too small of solar panel work with my system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and I'm finding that you don't need too much solar to run the fridges, so.
No, they're good. You keep them covered a little bit. Like I always keep a blanket or something on top, and that just keeps a little bit more insulation because they're really actually insulated well. Mm-hmm. But they do lose a little bit.
And you have a Dometic, right?
I have a Dometic, yeah. It's a 24 liter, I think.
Okay. Nice. Did this, like, headache rack come with it, or whatever this is?
I actually haven't hit my head on this, but no, this is just a cheap shelving unit that you get at Home Depot.
Oh, yeah?
And I wanted something to keep, you know, I'm tight for space, so I wanted something to keep just light stuff. I don't really put anything heavy up here, but just some towels and things that I just don't have any other place for them. So I put this up, and it's actually been, it's worked out really well.
Yeah, it looks very useful.
Yeah, it doesn't weigh much, but it does store quite a bit of stuff.
It's cool. And then is this always here? You've always got like loads of blankets and...
I do. So this time of year when I'm not using all of my blankets, I hang them up here just to get them out of the way so I don't
storage.
have to... Yeah, it's kind of a storage thing. I do have a sleeping bag that separates the front from the back, and I do that mostly for the summertime. I find that I've got a lot of glass in front, obviously, but the van is a cargo van in back. There's no glass. So if I keep the front cab separated from the back, it stays cool back here.
Nice.
Otherwise, it gets too hot.
Yeah.
So I just took an old sleeping bag and cut it down the middle and put the zipper in the center so I can open the zipper up and look through if I need to, or
That's
crawl through if I need to.
awesome.
I don't ever, but
Yeah, but the options.
Yeah, the option thing there again. Right?
Definitely need
Options are good.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for showing me your van. And, oh, wait, but what is that? Is that your water setup?
So that is water. That is just a water filter. You might have heard of Berkey filters, water filters. And so
Did you make it?
Yeah, I'm kind of fanatical about clean water, and I made it just because I couldn't fit a store-bought one in here just because I don't have a lot of headroom. So I just made it out of regular parts I bought at a restaurant supply store, and I ordered the filters on Amazon. So I put all of my drinking water to the top and drank filtered water. I'd never drank anything out of my sink.
Okay. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then the only other thing we didn't talk about was the Wave 3 heater.
Yes.
Which more people need to get rid of the buddy heaters. I know they're popular, but
They're a safety
it caused
hazard.
me all kinds of problems. It caused me, it would fill the van up full of moisture, and I just have, there's moisture dripping off the top of the roof, and it was just awful. Yeah.
No.
I got rid of that and switched to the Wave 3, and all of the moisture problems went away. So I really like that heater.
And you got cork on the ceiling?
I do. When I had the moisture problem from the buddy heater, I decided I needed something. I don't believe in insulation in such a small van.
Yeah.
I think bigger vans need it, but in small vans, I'm a big enough heater to not have a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, but bare metal and having heats in here, you do get a little bit of condensation. Not something I had to deal with when I first started out because I was in Southern California. But since I came up here and I was running the buddy heater a lot, I found that I needed something else, just another way. And I still don't want to put insulation in. So this was a kind of an intermediate way to try to not have insulation, but have just a little bit of thermal break.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's worked out really well.
Yeah. What did you want to say about the Wave 3 heater? Just that...
The Wave 3 is great. It is really efficient on propane, and it doesn't, even though it is a propane heater, it doesn't fill your van full of moisture. I don't know how. It's like magic, but the thing just works great.
Okay.
Yeah, but a lot more expensive than a buddy heater, but in my opinion, it's been worth it.
Yeah, and I definitely know little buddy heaters cause fires.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't want that.
Yeah, so I would never have anything that close.
So that actually is tucked out of the way. It's mounted to a flat panel TV mount, so I can pull it out away from the wall.
Oh.
And then I've got clearance
that's
all the way
awesome.
around it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you don't normally have it turned on right there.
I never use it in that position. I always just unclip it with a gear tie and pull it out using the flat panel display.
Nice. Wow. Is there anything else you want to point out in here?
Not really. I mean, I know a lot of people think it's kind of crazy that I live out of a small van, but I think that's the only other thing I want to point out is that I'm not in the van very often. I feel best when I'm outside.
Yes.
And so even if the weather is bad, I'll just walk around a store or a mall or something. And if it's a little rainy like today, I've got a waterproof jacket. But the idea is the van is small to get me out of the van. I don't want to be in the van. I want to be out in the sunshine and out moving around. So that's what the van gives me. It gives me a comfortable place to sleep, but it also gives me a place that I'm not going to sit and watch YouTube videos all day long, because I would if I was super comfortable in a big, huge Sprinter.
Yes.
So that's why the van works for me. And it is small, but I'm not in it very often.
No, that's great to point out that some people say they live out of their van. They don't live in their van.
It's probably a better way to say it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And I will hope to see you again.
I hope so too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.